Tuesday brings us to the famous chapter, and now we can read it the way Paul meant it, right in the middle of this argument about gifts. Picture the flow of it. Paul has just finished the body illustration, telling the Corinthians to stop ranking their gifts and start caring for each other. And then, right at the seam, he says there's a still better way, a more excellent way, that he wants to show them. And he launches into the love chapter. It isn't a detour, it's the heart of the whole argument. Love is the more excellent way. It's the thing that was missing from all their gifted, impressive, divided worship. And listen to how he opens it, because it's devastating. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, he says, but don't have love, I'm just a noisy gong, a clanging cymbal. Now that image had a razor edge in Corinth that we mostly miss, because gongs and clashing cymbals were exactly the instruments of the pagan temples these people had come out of. In the frenzied worship of the old gods, they banged gongs and clashed cymbals to work the crowd into a frenzy and get the deity's attention. A wall of loud, hollow, meaningless noise. So when Paul says a gift without love is a clanging cymbal, he's saying something pointed. He's telling these former pagans that their showy, loveless displays of spiritual gifting aren't actually Christian worship at all. They've slipped right back into the empty noise of the temples they left. All that impressive gifting, without love, is just pagan racket with a Christian label on it. And he keeps going, and it gets more sweeping. If I have the gift of prophecy, he says, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, if I have faith that can move mountains, but don't have love, I'm nothing. Not, I'm slightly less. Nothing. If I give away everything I own to the poor, if I hand over my body to be burned, the most extreme sacrifice imaginable, but don't have love, I gain nothing. Read that slowly. You could have the most spectacular gifts, the deepest knowledge, the most dramatic faith, and even die a martyr's death, and if love isn't behind it, Paul says it counts for zero. Love isn't one nice quality among many. It's the thing that gives every other thing its value. Without it, the whole impressive pile collapses into nothing. Then, Paul describes what this love actually looks like. And here's a detail that changes how you read the whole chapter. Almost every word he uses is a verb, an action. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy, does not boast, is not proud, is not rude, does not insist on its own way, is not easily angered, keeps no record of wrongs, does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Notice that these aren't feelings, they're things you do. Paul isn't describing a warm glow in the chest. He's describing a way of treating people. Love, in his hands, is not so much something you fall into as something you practice, something you choose, action by action, especially toward people who are hard to love. And that's exactly why it was the cure for Corinth. Their problem wasn't a shortage of feeling, it was a shortage of the actual practice of love. Patience with the weaker brother, kindness instead of showing off, not insisting on their own way, not keeping score, not envying each other's gifts. Every single item on Paul's list is a direct answer to something the Corinthians were doing wrong. He's not writing an abstract poem, he's holding up a mirror. Love does not boast, he says, to a church full of boasters. Love is not proud, to a church puffed up with pride. Love keeps no record of wrongs, to a church hauling each other to court. The love chapter is a portrait of everything they weren't. And here's why it sits exactly where it does, wedged right between the chapter on gifts and the chapter on using them well. Love is the artery. It's the thing that carries the gifts to their purpose. A gift without love is a limb without blood, technically present, but doing no good to anyone. You can have the gift of teaching and use it to make people feel small. You can have the gift of prophecy and wield it like a weapon. You can have every gift there is, and without love, do nothing but damage. Love is what makes a gift actually build somebody up, instead of just drawing attention to the one who has it. That's why Paul says, love is the more excellent way. He doesn't mean it's better than having gifts. He means it's the thing that has to run through the gifts to make them worth anything at all. And that's why, of the three great things that last, faith and hope and love, Paul says the greatest is love. Faith will one day become sight. Hope will one day be fulfilled. But love never ends. Love is the one thing that reaches all the way into eternity unchanged, because love is the very nature of God, and God is forever.